Hello again, welcome to the latest episode of Here to Compete. And today we're joined by Olivier Bernard, who talks about leaving a life of crime in Paris, being offered a lifeline by Sir Bobby Robson at Newcastle United, and hitting rock bottom after injury forced him to retire. Delighted to welcome Olivier Bernard onto the podcast. Olivier, great to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for being on. Olivier Jimmy Wilfred Bernard. Jimmy Wilfred, where does that come from?
Yeah, don't say it too loud, nobody knows. No, it's from my grandparents. So from my mom's side and my dad's side. So it's the first son of the family gets the granddad's name. So that's what it is. So you don't get to choose. Obviously, for me, I would have liked it a bit better, but I've got them. And I'm proud of it, to be fair. It's a bit of a recognition, and so yeah, it's nice, but yeah, could have been a nicer name, but
I like it, Jimmy Wilfred. It's good, it's good.
No, not really. No,
Wouldn't have all fitted on the back of your shirt. Because your family, we're talking there, your grandparents, everything from out in the West Indies.
Yeah, the French West Indies, Guadeloupe. So yeah, we for example, the likes of Galas, Thierry Henry, we all kind of from the same island. Yeah.
But it was Paris where you were born, is that right?
Born in Paris, raised in Paris until I was 13, 14. And then from that, I got signed up for Olympique Lyonnais, which is 4 hours drive down the country.
So did your parents move at that stage?
No. So in France, you've got the academy system with a dome. So I signed for Lyon in '94, and I stayed there. So we were all living in the dome. So I was in the same academy as Stade Malbranche. So people would know in the northeast, Stade Malbranche and Govo, and the likes a couple of players, Joseph Job, who played for Middlesbrough. Yeah. So we were in the same academy. So we used to go to school. You go to school until 3 o'clock. Then the bus comes, and the football lads get on the bus and go training, and then the bus take you back to the centre, where in the dome you sleep, you eat, and I've done that for over 6 years. And your first year pro, you get a flat.
Right. Well, we'll get into all that and moving away from home as a young boy. But going back before that, growing up in Paris as a young kid, how tough was that living on the streets of Paris as a young boy? And what was mum and dad like, first of all? I mean, how did you have money? What did they do?
So both my parents had normal jobs. My dad worked in the train industry, and my mom was France Telecom, so telephones. So nothing big, small jobs, small wages. So as a family, being together was more important than going away, I suppose, and that's how we were brought up. But life in Paris is different. It's different. I'm not sure if it's appropriate to talk about it, but I've seen a lot of things in my life. It's I've seen people getting stabbed in front of me. I've been chased by groups of people, skinheads. I've been it's all that life growing up that was a bit strange. But I suppose you've got to adapt wherever you are.
How old are you when you saw someone getting stabbed?
It was the music festival that was in the town. So there was a podium with artists. I must have been 8, 9, and all of a sudden this fight started, and the fact is we had to join in. We couldn't not, because even though we were very young, we had to be ruthless, because if you don't fight together, you're not part of nothing. which is even worse. So yeah, you had to fight to survive and fight to help all your mates. And yeah, in front of me, I've seen somebody getting stabbed in the thigh, and then they looked at me, ran away. Very, very difficult moment.
You're only 8 years old, 9 years old. It was real gang life, really. You're in a gang.
I was naughty. I would say at the start, 8 o'clock, I started to hang around with the wrong crowd. Doing houses.
So you say doing houses, like robbing houses as a kid?
Yeah. So you start with staying outside to check if there's anybody coming in the street, to go in the house. And I was very, very fortunate that I had football as a passion, because the day most of them got caught, I was in a football match.
So all your old friends ended up in prison?
So most of them came out, but today, 30 years on, so yeah, it's been quite difficult for some of us.
So football really saved your life, really?
It has. Like I said, it's literally, we have a meeting at 12 o'clock. We're saying we're going to do this house. And then all of a sudden, I said, "Oh no, I can't do it right now. I've got football, but lads, I'll catch up with you later, and then we'll see what's what." Finish the game, go back to where I live, and they got caught today, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And that's when I decided to dedicate my life to football. And within a year, luckily, I got a contract with Lyon, which my mom was over the moon. My mom was so scared at that point. We went to visit an academy. I'll remember that all my life. Went to an academy, Le Havre. Was it Le Havre? Le Havre Academy, and same principle. They've got domes where you sleep, and she got in the dome, and she went, "No, not a chance. You will not be here. It doesn't matter. You're not having here. Too many black people. Too many. Nah, it's not happening with you." And then in Lyon, from my generation, I was the only black player to start the season with, and she signed straight away. She said, "I don't mind." And I went to Saint-Etienne as well. She said, "Oh my God, no." Saint-Etienne had a partnership with a Senegalese academy in Senegal. No. And she was scared at the time, because in Paris I was getting very naughty, bringing stuff home, having a pair of trainers every other week, jeans and music instruments. I came home with a piano one day, and I got tortured for it, actually. And the next day I had to get rid of it. So yeah, very, very, very difficult upbringing.
How was Dad in all this? You're saying your mum was
strict. A couple of times I got belted because I was just not great, not good enough. When you and today, I can say that I'm glad he's done that, because I was heading in the wrong direction. Even though I thought I was having fun, it wasn't fun for them. So definitely I felt that. And when they finally realized that I was gonna sign for Lyon, they were over the moon. Even though I was leaving home, my sisters were not happy about me leaving home, but my mom and dad, they were just like, thank you very much for having him, because they knew something was gonna happen otherwise.
Now that you're a parent yourself, do you sort of reflect more on what you've maybe put your own parents through? Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. You realize that they don't deserve that, especially when you've got I've got a son now, and do you know what, I can't even imagine if he was if he was outside and doing if stuff, I still struggle to leave him going out and play out with his friend today because of what I've done and what I know can happen. So it's very awkward. You know, I always have to know where they go in and who he's going with and what they're gonna do.
Can you be quite strict as well?
I know I am to some extent because I know what can happen. And it's scary, but I'm the kind of person that's very laid back. So I'm a follower. So and I know he's a bit like that as well. It can be very easy led. So yeah, it's scary. It's scary.
When you said about your mum, or you went to first look at Lava, and she looked at the dorms and she said no, too many black people. Did she associate that with crime and badness? So
that was Paris. For my mom, it was too much of Paris lookalike, and you know when you hear about she heard obviously about the stabbing because it was one of my friends. So she was asking what happened. What said we were just at the festival, the music festival, and fight broke, and we had to defend ourselves, but nothing less. Well, and she's like, well, that's happening too far often. No, you know, you need to stop. And the kid that got stabbed, I know his mom, and I know yous are hanging out. I know yous are doing naughty things. So I don't want that for you. So as soon as she visited a couple of centers, she went no, that's just trauma for her. It was just trauma. It wasn't even in fact that they were black people. It was just the trauma of life in Paris.
She didn't want to leave you in a similar situation to what she thought you were in then. And Lyon would be the place. How did you adjust to being away from home? Like I say, your parents were really pleased that you got this opportunity. Yeah. How tough was it to be away from your sisters and your mum and dad?
Yeah, horrible because I was so used to my lifestyle and being pampered because I'm the only boy. So I had my sister looking after me, I had my mom looking after me. It was like I didn't have to do the dishes. At the time there was no dishwasher, unfortunately. But we had a very, very, very good upbringing in that sense because it was very much a family bond, family thing. So when I moved away, I was petrified because you're living with people you don't know. You've got to share a room with people you don't know at first. You've got to share the showers. You've got to there's a lot of I think I was 13 years old. Like there's a lot of things you've got to share all of a sudden. So it was horrible to think about it. But once I got there, it was just different. And you adapt fairly quickly. You make friends. And then you start a new life, I suppose. And I had to grow up a lot quicker than most kids. I know that now because there's things that I've never done. Going to uni parties. It's things that I would have loved touching or being near to, but because I was in this world of football, I never had the chance to do it. So I've missed out on a lot of things.
From a football perspective, when you first got into the academy there at Lyon, like you said, the likes of Steve Malbronk and so on are there, did you feel straight away, yeah, I'm good enough to be here, or did you think, I'm below some of the others? Or
not at first. I think I came to Lyon with a bit of an attitude. When you're from Paris, you've got to show that when you're either from Paris or from Marseille, you've got to show what you're made of. So I came in Lyon rolling the shoulders, but then realized that it was a different vibe. So I had to adapt to that, and it was great. It was great to be talking to other kids that have a completely different life to me, and for me it was like, for everybody was struggling as such, But it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. Some people had a very normal life or different life to mine. So yeah, it was just about exchanging thoughts and habits, I suppose.
Did you change a lot as a person in that period in the academy?
Yeah, because you realise that you don't need to act tough. You don't need to, it's a different life. You're here to go to school and to play football. Like, never mind, you don't need to go and see your pals. You don't need to go in burger houses. You don't need, you don't have to do nothing of that anymore. So it was a completely different life for me.
Why did you not end up staying there and turning pro?
Because it's quite difficult to answer that. Because when I think about it today, I'll say I wasn't ready. Today, I'm going to tell you I wasn't ready. But the truth is, at the time when it happened, I felt injustice. So at the time, I was playing for France. So I played for France on the 16 until on the 18, and with no problem. I was a regular in the French side. I played with the likes of Anelka, so forth. So it wasn't a big deal as such. But when it comes to signing your first contract, there was 5 international players, 5 or 6 we were at the time. And everybody got 3-year contract pro, and they said to me that because I was too laid back and not giving enough to the game, they said we'll give you 1 year plus another 2, and I got offended. I called my agent and I go, I'm not stopping. He goes, okay, but Olivier, you spend 6 years. So you cannot play in another French club because they offered you a contract. I went, how's that? So that's the rules. If you do academy football in a club, you have to pay. You have to play for that club if they offer you a contract. If they don't, you go wherever you want. But if they do, you've got to leave France. I'm like, what? I said, yeah, you've got to play abroad. And so I got a trial at Newcastle. First week. And
how did that come about? So who did your agent ring you and say?
My agent came up and say, we've got an opportunity for you to go in England next week. You've got to be Newcastle first week, second week West Ham, and then that's you. And I'm like, I was like, am I ready for this? Am I ready? They talk English. I can't even speak a word of English. So I was a bit petrified. But do you know what? Because I had the Parisian attitude, and it doesn't matter. I just go when they understand. I'm sure football is only one language. So if I play well, I'll be there and I'll learn the lingo. So I arrived in Newcastle, and at the end of the week, Bobby Robson goes, son, I want you to come back next week. And then by the time I went back to the club to pick my stuff up to leave, they had heard that I was in Newcastle. So all of a sudden the coach say yeah, you haven't been ill for a week, but the chairman wants to see you. So I go upstairs in the office, and it was a sporting director who I had to see. So he said, Ollie, we thought about it, and we're going to give you a 4-year contract, right, like the everybody else. We thought about it, and in the end, you deserved it. So so now I'm like, the Parisian attitude again. Not a chance. I'm not interested in you anymore. I'm gone. They went, do you know, Olivier, if you do that, you'll never play football again, because we'll take you to court. And I went, do that? I don't care. I don't need the game. I'll play anywhere. He said, no, you won't be able to play football at all. What do you mean? I said, because we're going to take you to court and we're going to drag it out, and for you to get your release paper and all that, we're going to drag it. You're not going to play. Everybody's going to forget about you. I went, I don't care. Looked at him in the eye. I went, I don't care. I'm off. And so the procedure started. So now I'm in Newcastle for about 3 months. I couldn't play. So I played friendlies. I couldn't play any reserve game or first team. So that was a big step back. When I first arrived at the club. So I'm not playing. I'm just training. I can't speak a word of English. It was tough. You know, I remember by December saying I want to leave. I want to leave.
But where would you have gone at that point?
Would have had to go back to France, but obviously the court case was on, so I couldn't go back to France. So I was forced to stay in England or find somewhere else.
Were you starting to think, I should have just taken that contract at Lyon?
And yes, I did. It did. It wasn't my fault, but because of me being me, I went, I'm never going back.
Stubborn?
Yeah, a bit
stubborn?
A bit too much. Yeah, at times I can be awkward at times, but I just didn't want that. So from there, I was like, I'm going back. I'm going back at the end of the season. Newcastle went, fair enough, if that's what you want. So after Christmas, they go, okay, Ollie, go to Darlington. Go to Darlington, finish the season at Darlington. If you don't want to be here, that's fine. Gary Bennett was the manager at the time at Darlow. And he said to me, Ollie, I've got you for 4 weeks. You're going to play every game, and I want you to learn the way we play in England. Because I've seen you play for the reserve a couple of times. So I was like, oh, no problem, Gaffer. And I learned how to play football at Darlington. That's another thing. When I was talking with Bobby Robson, he said, what position you want to play? I said, I want the number 9. so the look on his face went, I don't think it's going to happen, son. I don't think it's going to happen because our number 9 is Alan Shearer. So
how did the transition? Who made the transition to left back then? So
it's so I started as a winger because obviously the centre forward position was. So I came on and I played a few times for Newcastle as a winger. And the first summer, so after I think I played half a season for Newcastle, and then all of a sudden in the summer they bought Laurent Robert. So Sir Bobby Robson, the gaffer go, Oli, this year is going to be difficult for you to play. Do you fancy playing left back? And me being me, anyway, I'll play. Just put me on the pitch, I'll play. And that's how I started playing left back. So I had a couple of games for the reserve, playing left back, left wing back, more for the reserve. And then I started coming on as a winger or a left back when we needed to attack. So coming off the bench, and all of a sudden, I start to enjoy going forward. Not so good defensively at first, but going forward it was working. And the manager went, okay, I want you two to combine, me and Lauren. I want you two to combine. So there's no such a thing as I'm a left back, left back. Yeah, you stay behind Lauren and you stay high. I will talk to Speedo, at the time it was Gary Speed, to shuffle slightly on the left, so we've got that attacking force on that left-hand side. And then it clicked brilliantly, and we dominated the left flank for a couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, so you're saying Speedo playing that key role there as well, and you and Lauren just had a great understanding on the left-hand side, and you're still such great friends as well. Like you say, a very attacking duo on that left-hand side.
Very, very attacking for the simple reason is Lauren is not a great defender, so he was very reluctant to get behind the ball as well. So every time we lose the ball, you had to be there to retrieve it as quick as possible. If you let the play develop, then you've got to run another 80 yards. So I was very much on the support all the time. He was going. I was not far, and he worked. He worked really well. Lauren was a great player. Don't get me wrong. You know, it didn't need me to. But he was a fantastic winger for Newcastle.
Like you say, not wanting to track back, so it left a lot of the defensive responsibility.
Yeah, so I just realised, you know what, I might as well defend high and see how it goes. And Speedo was a great support. You know, he was there, just playing that left-sided midfield to a T. His knowledge tactically was immense, and it helped us to get the best out of Lauren, to be honest.
He had a great left foot, Lauren Robert, as you found out. I mean, what one clearance hit you stonk in the face and rocked you off your feet like you're being punched by Mike Tyson.
We still talk about it. You know, he still apologised every time he sees me. You know, I didn't mean it. I went, don't worry about it. You know, it is what it is. He said, I wanted to hit him, but not you. Yeah, I know. You're not very good at aiming.
You stayed on though after that, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, you had to. You had to at the time. Nowadays, that would never happen. Yeah, early 2000, it was chemical, because I can remember going back to the dressing room and go, it was Derek, our physio. Derek, I've got a massive headache at half time. And he said, yeah, you've just been knocked out. So it's normal. I went, what do you mean I've been knocked out? What are you going on about? I said, I've got a headache. You go, I've been knocked out. We had a massive argument. What are you going on about? He said, you haven't seen it. I'll show you on Monday. But I didn't realise. And then I played the second half and I put an assist. I think we drew that game and I assisted it for the goal. But on the Monday when we went back, we put the big screen on meeting on the Monday, and they showed me, and I was like, wow, I can't remember nothing of it. Wow. And to this day, I cannot remember it.
Dear me.
I've seen the pictures, but for me, it's not me.
You mentioned Speedo there. It was such important. I mean, for everyone in that squad, it must have been absolutely heartbreaking when we lost him so young. What a great bloke he was.
Do you know, he was the real captain of the team, if you know what I mean. Alan was the captain of the club. Speedo was the leader by example. Speedo was there before everybody. He was the first one in, the last one to leave. His dedication for the game and Newcastle was immense. You know, we looked at him as Gary, you're too serious. He said, my friend, if you want to last in the game, you should start stretching, you should start doing your bits and bobs because you're going to need it. Trust me, over the years, yeah. And he's totally right. But we were young, and he was in his 30s. We were on our early 20s. We thought we could beat the world. It's only when you retire or when you get 25 plus, you start realizing how important it is to look after yourself. So yeah, it was a big for Newcastle, big lad.
What was Sir Bobby like? What are your memories?
Father figure. For me, it was everything that you need when you leave away from home. You know, at times he could tell you, like, you can have your Monday off, go home, see your parents, and then come back on Tuesday, and just those little things making you feel like you're part of a big big thing. Make you feel bigger. In terms of man management, it was great. It was fantastic. And I mean, we had some social cases within the team, without naming name. It was young. It was a very young squad we had at the time. Very good on the pitch, but a bit wild on the outside. And he managed every single player in a different way, which there was about 25 plus players. He managed the group so well. Telling 11 players you start in the game, and telling another 11 players that are not playing that they are good enough to play, and they will play, they will join in. Do you know what? His knowledge of the game was unbelievable.
Did some of the younger players take advantage of Bobby's nature, do you think?
In what sense?
I mean, because there was a lot of stories at the time of some of the young players that the sort of Craig Bellamy's, Kieran Dyers, and so on, almost almost Mickey taking a bit with Bobby, who was obviously he was in his 70s.
Do you know the thing with Bobby is that if you deliver on match day, then you're allowed to have a bit of leeway, if you know what I mean. So because we were performing quite well on the pitch, whatever we were doing on the outside was just well, it happens, let's make sure it doesn't happen again, type of thing. And until you're injured all the time and you're not playing, you're very much secure in Bobby Robson's head. But once you mess about and your game is no longer the same, then you crossed him. Then it's a different discussion that you're gonna have with him.
Did he have a strict side as well?
Yes. Yeah. When but the strict side came within reason. You knew it's because you either you crash your car and now you can't play for 6 months, or there's something happening for him to not be happy with you, and something pretty much a big thing. So it was always awkward at times, because with some players, love and hate, because you had to, when you poke the bear, you feel it, and that's what happened for some players. I know it felt like that.
He was notoriously would get players' names wrong. I mean, I was with Brian Robson the other night. He's captain of England, and Brian said he used to call me Bobby, and I used to say that, no, you're Bobby, I'm Brian. What was he like with you? That
was fun. That was fun. One day, you all right, Shearer? And Ollie, yeah, Lua. Honestly, it was unbelievable. He called me Carl Court at times. So, but at first you're like, what's going on? But then you get used to that. You get used to it. Honestly, it's everybody like, leave it, lads. It's just old age. but he didn't get your name, but he knew what type of player you were, which is weird. but yeah, he did that. I think over the years, we had some good laugh, in the team talk when he's like, oh yeah, when he's telling Shearer to Kieran, when he goes, Kieran, I want you to hold up the ball, I want you to turn people, you're strong. and then everybody's like, it's Shearer.
I think it's something he always had that, even when he was a younger manager. The players from when he was at Ipswich said he was like that. It's
just something that it was part of him. It was part of him, and honestly, we had some great laugh between Titus, Lua, Shearer, Michel. Honestly, unbelievable. Honestly, but like proper where you've got to stay still when he's talking. And I mean, after the meeting, everybody's under the chair laughing, just like, wow. Sometimes I feel like he's doing it on purpose.
What was Alan Shearer like?
very. When I first came to the club, do you know, I came to Newcastle in the dressing room, unbelievable dressing room. Do you know, it was almost the '98 type of squad. You know, Duncan Ferguson, Alan Shearer, Alan Goma, you know, big players, Rob Lee, Speedo. Like, do you know, I sat around like big names. Very, very impressive. And you get to know and understand players, especially when I first arrived. Alan was a big persona. I was scared to talk to him, well, to all of them, to be fair, because for me they were not reachable. In that sense, you know, you're the young player. They've got to sit for you in the dressing room, and you just sit, leg cross, and you just look around, and you're like, wow, you know. But Alan was the kind of character that approachable, very approachable, very straightforward, and always tell you the truth. In the end of the day, and that's what I like about him.
Good trainer.
Very good trainer. Oh yeah, I got a few elbow marking in my training. Yeah, no, he was very serious in his in what he wants from the training. So, you know, when we do finishing, then you know, he's focused. When we work on movements, very focused and very 100% on the topic. So as a defender, we kind of, you know, the young players just want to be there and finish and go home. But then you had to dedicate, because he give you a bit, you know, he give you shoulders, he give you elbow, he show you the intensity you have to put in the training. And it took us a bit, probably took me a year to realize what I needed to put in to have reward on the pitch.
So Bobby, they finished 4th, 3rd and 5th, and then was sacked by the club. What was the players' reaction when Sir Bobby left?
We were all surprised, to be honest. We were not ready for it. It wasn't even in our mind that he was in limbo. That's how bad it was. Because we lost Tottenham. I remember Tottenham at home, 1-0. And then all of a sudden, on the Monday when we turn up, said, oh, he's left. Like, what? Yeah, Bobby has left. I said, no, Gaffer still here. I said, what? Because we lost one game. So, but previously we didn't qualify for Champions League, and then we lost that Tottenham game. It was like, oh, like, that's not good. That's not good. But as you do, you just get along with it. But the confusion was mad. It was honestly unreal. Everybody was like, what?
Did the players feel responsible?
Did they feel responsible? Probably not, because it's out the blue. We didn't see it coming. We never asked for him to get. I think, you know, we've had a bad performances. There was a lot of injuries. It was a difficult time that pre-season with the injuries, with the not qualifying for Champions League and getting into the UEFA Cup. And then Tottenham was the first or the second game of the season as well. And then, you know, we're still in August. I don't get why you know, so early on the season you're getting rid of the manager. But it felt like a calculated thing from the club, and we had to deal with it.
What was your first encounter with Graeme Souness, and did you instantly get on, or? So
he came. He says that the squad was too young, that there's a lot of players that would lose their places, including myself, because we were not good enough, and he's going to change things. So after that, he signed few oldish players. And he kind of dismantled the young side that we had. I think there's about 8 players, 6 regular starters that leaves, including Kieran, Bellamy, myself, Lauren.
Did he have a run-in with Craig Bellamy?
A proper row. We at the team meeting, and we were talking about tactical things, and at one point he goes, Perez, you don't work hard enough, you don't run enough. Everybody was like, what? And Perez just went. You telling me that I don't work hard? Are you kidding me? Have we watched the same game? No, yeah, you don't do enough, you don't work hard. Oh, Billy just went. It just went. And they nearly fight. It was getting really bad because even the manager took his top off. It was ready to, it was gonna happen. It was gonna happen, but we kind of stopped them. Mad.
Because both Graeme and Craig, they've got that in their personality that they could
They didn't want to back down. They didn't want to back down. One saying that he's stronger, and Billy say your old mouth. Within reason, I can say today he had no right. The manager had no right to say that to Belaise. Tell Belaise that his attitude stinks, but don't tell him it's not working. Because out in Newcastle, he's probably the one who was well over 13 mile a game. Easy. So you couldn't tell him that unless you want to provoke him. And I think that was what it was.
Is it fair to say the players didn't really like Graeme?
A good. I'll say two-thirds of the team guaranteed didn't like him. But you've got a third who had to work with him. There was within that third there was some positive people that thought it would have changed things.
Were you a fan?
Graeme? No, I couldn't be a fan because after 2 weeks he said to me, Ollie, I know you're in negotiation with your contract. I personally think you're not that good. So it's up to you what you want to do. But I've got a better left back coming soon. I was like, what? Bear in mind, I'm player of the season. But I've just been player of the season for Newcastle. Oh, I'm like, what? Really? He said, yeah, I've got another left back. If you don't agree to the terms of the contract, which didn't even start at that point. I think we were just talking about negotiating. Said this the contract, sign it. I went, nothing's changed on that contract. So what's going on? He went, that's what it is. But and probably 10 days later, not even 10 days later, he bought Babayao. And
did you think he was a better left back than you?
No, I don't think he was. At that time, I don't think there was that many better than me. Ashley Cole, obviously. But after that, I thought I competed very well at that position to be one of the better ones in the league.
Like you say, you just won Newcastle United's Player of the Year in that 2003-2004 season, and you're replaced like that.
Yeah, were
you angry?
I was pissed off. Mad. I was mad. And do you know what? It's when you realise that football is not for kids. If you're faint-hearted, it's not for you. Because as happy as you can be today, tomorrow you can go to the training ground and your life it's upside down within minutes. Just because there's a change of manager, just because you get a massive injury, for any reason, it's football is very it's a beautiful game, but people tend to watch the game but not but not realise there's a week that goes behind it. You know, there's players that suffer injuries, there's players that argue between each other, there's players that don't get along with the manager, there's players, you know, there's a lot of things that goes in between, you know, the games that as fans, and I've realised that we don't care about. Oh, he's not good. He hasn't been good this weekend. Yeah, but he's carrying an injury, and he's playing for the club because he's been told to play. Do you know what I mean? You can't say no as a player. So, and a lot of people don't really care about. They just see for what it is, but not for what it could be.
You're a father at this point. You've got a wife. You know, your family's in Newcastle. How much of a worry is it then? You're thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to leave. I'm leaving what's been home.
So at that point, you're the worst partner ever, because you're not happy in yourself. You're dragging your feet to go to training. You're dragging your feet to even take your missus. So yeah, damn, my wife wasn't happy at all with my attitude, because I was grumpy, and I couldn't believe that the manager told me that I wasn't good enough, and it's my best season I've had. So I'm thinking, so what? How do you need to play to be respected? And I was like, why is he basing? What's the base? You telling me that I'm good on what? What have I done not right? Like, it was a lot of questions that never been answered, because that's the way it is.
Did he just not like you, do you think? Is it personal?
Yeah, in the end of the day, I didn't get the chance to get to know him. You know, it lasted 2 months, not even 2-3 months, and it wasn't the best. You know, it was so disjointed, the squad, within that, you know, between when he arrived and December, it was bad. It was bad. You could feel the change of dynamic in the club.
You would leave,
yeah,
spell Southampton, and then Rangers. How was that period of your career?
Yeah, so I went to Southampton last minute. It was very, you get into another argument with the manager, still telling you that you're not good enough. And at that point, it doesn't matter where I go. So again, I think it's on the Wednesday, I think. It's 9 o'clock. I go, nah, I'm not stopping. We're on the last day of transfer. I said, okay, let's see what we can find. I said, there's Southampton interested. I said, let's go. Left Newcastle, went down. On the way down, there was Birmingham City as well, but I said, I'll just go to Southampton and see what's what. No, I never wanted to go to Southampton. I went to Southampton because it was the first club that had interest, and nothing more.
This section of the podcast is brought to you by Oddballs. Need some new underwear? Well, Oddballs has you covered. From some bold and incredible designs to something slightly more understated for the less adventurous of you. Born and based here in the Northeast as well. Why not overhaul your underwear drawer and turn to Oddballs? It's a long way away from home, and your wife, who's from this part of the world. And
it was probably the one of the worst decisions I've made. Not because Southampton wasn't good enough, just because mentally I wasn't there. You know, I wanted to be a Newcastle player still, but I couldn't, and I was frustrated to be at Southampton. I'm glad I played for Southampton. But I wish they had seen a different version of me, somebody who's more concerned and dedicated to the shirt. And I think I failed because my head wasn't in it.
You moved to Glasgow Rangers next, and that was they, huge club, and I suppose closer to home as well.
Yeah, it was godsend, to be fair. The wife all of a sudden is happy. She said, I can do that. 2 hours from Newcastle, I can do that. Fantastic, great set of lads. But yeah, my head wasn't in it, and I've got to say that. I wasn't prepared to not play for Newcastle. If there was still a game Newcastle Southampton, I would have not played that game.
Did it work out there for you, do you think?
It was okay the first season, okay, but I got injured. I'm not a player that gets injured often, but in Scotland it was quite recurrent. I think I had my thighs, I had the calf, knee. There was always a problem. So I played, but never played 100%.
How hard is that when the body starts? You think, you start picking up injuries when maybe you've gone quite a long period of your career without getting them, and all of a sudden they start coming.
There's a lot of questions you start asking yourself. Maybe Souness was right. Maybe I wasn't that good. Maybe you've got a lot of things that goes through your mind, and you start doubting yourself, and you leave a lot of self-esteem. You lose a lot of that. So yeah, I was in limbo between, and I need to wake up and play, and maybe they were right. Like, it was very, very difficult at Rangers.
Do you think mentally you after that conversation with Graeme Souness, do you think mentally you lost something?
I have definitely lost a lot of self-esteem, confidence after the Newcastle first time. And Glasgow, unfortunately, they've seen a bit of a player, but not consistent enough to say anything. But I've done the pre-season with Rangers, and unfortunately, again, it was a French manager that comes in, Lyon manager at the time. So he knew about me.
Your history.
He knew about me, how I left Lyon, and how I was a bit of a hothead, blah blah blah. So Paul Le Guen,
yeah.
Ollie, I've heard about you. Like, I don't want to work with you. I said, you're not even trying. He went, nah. From what I've heard, do what you want, find a club, blah, 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 off you go. And again, you're in a situation, and pre-season was great. And then when he says that, I'm like, oh, my life, what am I going to do? So I was getting ready to quit the game, to be fair. And then I realised that Leeds, and we're talking dying moments of the transfer windows to close. So what I did, because I wouldn't have time to drive down, I cut my contract with Rangers, and I was on my way down to Leeds to sign, and Newcastle rang me while I was driving. And they said, do you mind stopping? We just need to talk to you. So happy chairman, Mr. Shepherd. In my head, I'm like, oh, let's do this. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter how much he was going to propose. It was just a yes. That was just my dream. And I go in the office, Ollie, we want you back. I was like, yeah, done deal. Like, let's sign it. We're back in the car with the missus, said we're going to Newcastle.
What was her reaction?
She was chuffed. She was on the phone, Mom, Dad, I'm coming back, because she's a Geordie, so, I'm coming back. And then, do you know what? It's the first time within 18 months that I feel like we're getting somewhere. Dead happy. And I remember that for all my life. First day back in Newcastle, so you've got the corridors, so you're going through, then you go to the dressing room. Everybody, hi, happy to be back. And then you get in the dressing room and it's a totally different dressing room than 18 months ago. But not in terms of bodies, but in terms of atmosphere.
Better atmosphere.
It's different. You get into I wouldn't say better. I just think it was different. And I went, that's weird. We had a group like that was jolly, a bit wild, with some older players that was holding everything together. And when I came back, it was just the dynamic was very off. So I'm like, oh no, it'll be fine. But it wasn't the same.
Glenn Roeder was the manager of that period, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, the club was going through a really bad time, I think.
Yeah, if I had to do it again, I would probably not come back.
Did it taint your overall experiences as a Newcastle player coming back the second time?
I love being a Newcastle player, and coming back was natural. I think I've reduced my wages by 2 times at least. Like I wasn't bothered. Like whatever they said, I went yeah, and I signed. And I said, we'll discuss it when I start playing, and we'll discuss another contract later. I wasn't bothered, but when I realized the dynamic wasn't the same, I thought, you know what? The heart told you to come back, you came back, but now it's not the same. It's not the same. But it's still the club that I love. So I was happy still to be there, to be around. Slightly different, and then after that I get injured, so I broke my hip within weeks.
How tough was that?
I knew it was the end then. Didn't need a scan. I knew I had done something very bad. Because like I said, I'm not normally get injured, and if I get injured, it's muscle. But there it was a very sharp pain. Very difficult to I've tried to fight that injury for about six months. But I knew it wasn't gonna, and even to this day, from the beginning I knew it was not gonna be fine. So I retired probably within the 6 to 8 months Newcastle.
It must be really tough. Your career comes to an end, but just fast forward to now. You're still in the game. Bit of coaching with young players at the moment, and what's your long-term ambition?
So when I finished playing for Newcastle, I didn't want to hear about football. I stayed. I was very isolated, depression. Didn't want to hear, and everybody wanted me to do me coaching badges, blah blah blah. I wasn't interested in the game. I had so much remorse. I didn't want to see a football. It was literally like that, and having my son helped me to playing football with him, seeing him grow and loving the game, and that made me realize that you don't leave football like that. It's something that will always stay with you, regardless of whether you like it or not. And very recently, I'm starting coaching young kids. I've done a couple of football camp for foreign players who wanted to come and play in England. So yeah, I've been over the last 10 years I've been involved massively in the game. My son's doing okay at football, so I'm following him. Hoping for him to be better than his dad, which so far is doing great at it. So yeah, it's just it's different now, and you know, I wanna not necessarily be a football coach or a football manager, but being involved around the game, like scouting or in terms of recruitment. I'd love that. I'd love that to be able to go and scout players.
How bad did the depression get after you had to retire?
I think what happened for me, it's auto-destruction. You know, you leave the game, you're retired, but you know, you still think you're the king of town. You know, you go out, you buy bottles. Now you don't drink a glass, you buy a bottle because you don't play anymore. So it doesn't matter, like stupid things like that, creeping up. You travel. Well, I didn't have time to travel while I was playing, so now you just think you can go everywhere, and you know, it's mentally destroying yourself. That's what you do, and I didn't even know I was in a depression. You know, but my wife knew. She said, you're not doing well. You should see someone. I was like, what? Because I go out 1 day a week. Oh, because I travel. And I was, you know, you got your excuse. Oh, my parents are in the West Indies, so you know, I go there. But while I'm there, I'm gonna go to Paris and stay a bit in Paris, and then I've got a friend. He's in Dubai. Okay, let's go. Like, and then all of a sudden you haven't been home for 6 months. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
You were running away from yourself a little bit.
You do. You lose yourself, and the damage is that you hurt your family. You know, because every time you put your foot through the door and you walk in, you say, everybody look at you. Oh, how long are you here for? No, we're happy to see you. How long are you here for? And you know, that's when you start realizing that it's not, you know, whatever I'm doing is not great.
So football really saved your life, not once but twice. First as a young boy, saving you from the streets of Paris and the gang life. And secondly, as an adult, really rescuing you again from depression and you rediscovering the game through your son.
It was after football. It was very difficult, and I was very lucky with show racism the red card. Jed Breby was the chief. You know, took me under his wing and said, okay, Ollie, let's do this, let's do that. So I started going into school, talking about racism, talking about what if we hear, feel, or see racism and what we should do, and you know, giving personal statement and giving a bit of a session for the kids in primary school. You know, it helped me a lot to refocus on my future, and from that, then I was coaching, and now I'm happy with what I do.
Finally, then on the racism, because you have worked closely with Show Racism, the red card, is that something you experienced as a player yourself? What was the worst you ever experienced it?
Do you know, it can be, you know, it was more after my playing days, but you know, in the Champions League, for example, at Inter Milan, there was a lot of monkey chant during that game. Driving, I had a foreign car at the time, driving back home, getting stopped by the police. The police not realizing who I was, you know, asking me for paperwork and everything, to make sure I wasn't doing anything naughty. But talking to me like I was, you know, I had drugs and everything on me. And realizing 2 minutes later that, he plays for Newcastle. Oh yeah, let's take pictures. Oh, you're so good. Oh yeah. You know, so from one attitude to another, you know, how quick it changed from being a black man who's probably carrying drugs, or because you know they've done everything. Opened me boot, the forced it. Everybody was searching. So it was quite bad. It was quite bad. But then 2 minutes later, oh yeah, let's take a picture, and then you know, nice that I am, you take the picture, but did I want it to do that? No, I didn't want to take a picture with you, but you know, so I don't get enough don't get more trouble.
Did that make you understand maybe how tough it can be for black men who aren't footballers like you?
You can change the atmosphere of a room just by entering that room. So I entered the room, staff room, they were talking about safari, right? So I go and make a cup of tea, and then I sat with the teacher I was working with and started. And then, oh, is that Olivier? Yeah. Which part of Africa do you come from? I go, Paris. She goes, Paris? So yeah, you asked me where I'm from. I said, Paris? No, but your mom and dad, they come West Indies. Well, well, I was just saying, I want to do a safari. I said, oh, yeah, I heard. She was dead confused. I was like, well, because I'm black, must come from Africa. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm not. I'm born in Paris, so yeah, dead awkward.
Yeah. Well, Ollie, it's been great to chat to you and learn a lot more about the person behind the player. I've got a little gift for you, actually, mate.
Oh.
Oddballs, new pair.
That's good.
New pair. I know already, because we play football together, that you do always have good pants on.
Yeah.
But I've got some special ones for you there.
Ooh. Yes. I'll wear that tomorrow.
Next time you go, I think they'll fit in well in Guadeloupe in the West Indies as well.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Here to Compete, and really enjoyed chatting.
Our pleasure.